I think a lot of us are kind of wondering what's going on here. I think we're at a point where we're waiting for a shoe to drop. We're waiting for something to happen, but it doesn't seem like much is going on. And it's really the opposite. This is that time that we talked about, that I said that this is an accumulation of getting everything all set, getting everything all ready for something to happen. And that's exactly what's happening. Everyone is setting up. The good old sworn enemy of Israel is Iran, biblically speaking. So when we go forward with that, we see that they have reaching tentacles, and they go strongly up into Hezbollah up north of Israel. They go very supportively to the PLO, which is Mohammed Abbas, which is there, happens to be in the West Bank. And we also know that they have a say-so, funding-wise, money-wise, also to that good old place down south, which is called Hamas. You know, that group that would really like to just break through that fence, and along with them, they're going to bring a whole bunch of barbecues, and they're just going to get along with Israel, and they're going to share that land. Isn't that just a joke? All of them down there have nothing else in mind but the total annihilation and the killing of every single Israeli person that they could get their hands on in any way, shape, mean, or form that they can possibly come up with, and against man, woman, and child. And then we say Israel lives in peace and quiet. Yeah, okay, so anyway, let's move on. Sarcastically speaking, with a little humor. I hope you took it that way. So my point is that we are now beginning to see a picture take place, and that is Iran building up its strength in Syria to come up against Israel, supporting the different warring factions around Israel. We didn't see that long ago. We knew of it, but now it's becoming so obvious. Now, the next thing that's a big key in this is Lebanon, just as of today, is having elections taking place. I'm going to summarize those elections real quickly. Lebanon did not want to go to war with Hezbollah. Hezbollah wanted to go to war with Lebanon. America basically said back when this was taking place, we don't want a civil war up there. America is saying, hold on, we're going to back the Lebanese people. That gave them enough time for them to go on. Now, this is several years later. So what's happening is recently, within the last month, Lebanon says, I'm going to start siding with Hezbollah. So Hezbollah goes, well, you know what, let's go ahead and have elections. And what they're doing is they're building like a parliament type to where that the Christians of Lebanon, along with Hezbollah, can somehow have seats in a parliament, and then they'll be able to vote up against each other, and then it'll be the best for the Lebanese people. And that's what the Lebanese people think. Nothing could be further from the truth. The truth is if Lebanon doesn't agree with Hezbollah, it's been understood for them to say they could take over the Lebanese people within 3 days. And they would if they had to. What does that mean? What does that mean? The elections are going to be over today. That means Hezbollah is going to be sitting quite, I want to say smartly, but I would say also in greater control in what's going to happen with the Lebanese people. So what does that mean? Come on, Lebanon, join us. We're going to go up against Israel. That's what that means. Excuse me. Okay, that's one of the little pieces here that we want to put together, a link in the chain. Okay, so now let's keep on going. Remember that when Netanyahu showed all this, the truth about what Iran is doing with its nuclear program, okay, we understand, we kind of almost really knew that anyway, right? No, that Iran is definitely wanting to develop nuclear weapons, and that would be for dominion of the world, basically, but they're definitely going to use it to wipe out Israel. No doubt about that. Okay, so then what we also see is we see that agreement that was signed with many countries along with Iran is about ready to come to an end. Another link. It's another piece. Put that in there. Because what Iran has just got done saying is it doesn't matter what you're going to do, Trump. We're going to go ahead and break it anyway. We think that you're going to break it, and so why should we have to follow anything? How do we know that? We see up there in a place called Fordo, which is basically a bunch of underground tunnels up in Iran where they have these centrifuges in there. And there's a bunch of brand new activity taking place out there that they've noticed by satellite. They, Israel, America, have noticed. So no, they have actually said that they don't know what they're doing there. They aren't really sure, but we can kind of draw to a conclusion. Now we're understanding that Iran is starting to make moves. Okay, so what's our next link in the chain? Well, we have found out now, as of today, Netanyahu just got done saying that it's time to confront Iran. It's time to do something. Let's add one more a solid link to this chain, and he said, now, Netanyahu is going to have a talk with Putin. I can almost hear that talk. I can almost picture what's going to take place. Israel's going to say, you see, we can't afford it. It doesn't matter whether you want to come against Israel or not. If you do, we will have to fight you. If Iran comes against us, we're going to have to fight them. And now we're going to have to fight them whether they want it or not. Because they're just building up way too much. And we said this wasn't going to happen. We have come upon an agreement that says that we will not let them build up. They're still building up. We're going to confront this. Okay, so we also understand that Netanyahu was given full authority to declare war without the parliament forming. All these things are huge. They're all huge. They all are step by step by step falling into place. If you can see what's about ready to happen, Netanyahu is more than likely going to have to do something preemptive. They're going to have to do some sort of a sneak up or surprise. Israel's too small. It's going to have to do something preemptive. It's going to have to take out the major parts of the strength of Iran. Hezbollah, Damascus, up there in Alam, northern, where their nuclear plant is, something that's going to have to put them, Tehran, attack in Tehran, they're going to have to do something that's going to just diffuse this thing in such a way that they can't come back at them again. And I see that setting up. I see it happening. Okay, I put America into the picture. I've given you northern Hezbollah, what's going on up there. You're seeing how, and you understand Iran is a sworn enemy. You see him building up armament. You see Netanyahu wanting to talk to Putin about this. You see America on Israel's side. You're putting all this stuff together right now. Can you picture what's going to happen? Well, you'd be right on. Exactly. A war. What war is it? If it's a war of the Bible, it's Psalms 83 in Ross's most humble opinion. So I already know the outcome. I really do. This procession that is getting ready to head here to the world to grab the bride and bring it home to the wedding feast, we at any time now could probably hear that getting started. That's my whole point. I said here I wanted to know when a covenant was going to be signed, because the covenant signs the last 7 years. But we know prior to that covenant, the church is going to be gone. What would bring that about? Would be a war where Israel eliminates its surrounding enemies. Okay, folks, I think that I made that point. And I think that now when you look and you see things that are happening, you're going, you know what, that's starting to make more and more sense, isn't it? So Bible prophecy unfolded right before our eyes. And that's what I said New News is all about. So anything and everything that has something to do with news that is related to Bible prophecy of end times. I hope that I brought this around, and at the same time, I'm catching on. I'm quite certain you are too, where we are in God's prophetic time clock. I think at this particular point, pretty much you can start smiling and keep looking up. Our time draws nigh. I believe that. God bless all of you. Thank you for stopping in. Your comments. Appreciate it.